Hello, hello, Amy here. This is an athletic recovery flow. So more stretching than activation, but we weren't really going to be holding things for long periods of time. So stretching, but moving through our range of motion more so. Grab some blocks. You'll probably need them at some point if you don't have blocks. Big books or something that's about a foot tall that's sturdy that you can use for some support. We're going to start supine, so on our backs, laying all the way back. We're just going to start with a few deep breaths. So any position that's comfortable for you. I like the Supta Baddha Konasana, bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide. You can take the hands to the insides of the thighs, to the belly, or to the ground, wherever you feel your most grounded energy. Close your eyes and just take a few deep inhales and exhales. We're going to start with 4 seconds. So a big 4-second inhale. Exhale for 4. Big inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. 2 more. Exhale out of the shoulders. Everything relaxes. From here, you're going to plant those feet down. You can open your eyes. Knees up towards the ceiling. So we're going to start with an anterior pelvic tilt. We're going to do a little bridge spinal mobility movement. So I have space between my back and the ground. My pelvis is tilted forward. I'm going to take a big inhale here. And on my exhale, I tuck my belly in. I pull my back into the mat. Then I start to lift my hips off of the ground. Vertebrae by vertebrae, I'm opening through my chest to the top, squeezing my glutes. Really think your shoulders are opening into the mat. I want you to take a big inhale here. And then exhale. I think I'm punching you in the chest. You're going to create space in those shoulders, and then I'm punching you in the stomach now. Each vertebrae is reattaching into the mat. See, my abs are engaged as I get my low back into the mat. And then I release all the way forward back to my anterior tilt. We have 2 more of those. So it's an inhale. Exhale, pull that belly down. Vertebrae by vertebrae, lift off of the mat. Inhale to open those shoulders, open at the top. And then exhale, reattach one by one back down into the mat. Release back forward, anterior tilt. We have 1 more. Big inhale. Exhale, pull belly in. Lift those hips one by one. Squeeze those glutes. Each vertebrae is peeling off the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, release vertebrae by vertebrae back down. So now I'm going to come back to a neutral spine. I'm going to take my arms by the sides and my feet stay planted. I'm going to inhale here. On my exhale, right arm's going to cross my body. My knees are going to try to face the ceiling still as I rotate my right hand towards my left. Inhale, pull back to center. Exhale, left hand reaches across the body towards that right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right across towards that left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cross and rotate. You have 1 more each way. T-spine rotation. Last one here. Inhale back to center. We're going to pull those knees into chest. Grab the outsides of the calves, ankles, or feet, wherever it's comfortable. And you're going to start to rock right to left. This is your happy baby pose. Continue with that breath. From here, we're going to rock all the way up to a seated position, cross those feet, and come to our tabletop. However it is comfortable for you to get here. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're going to do 3 cat and cows. Fingers spread wide, full palm on the ground. Pull into that belly, tuck under, big inhale, rotate those elbows out, create space in those shoulders, and then exhale. Anterior tilt, lengthen that spine to look ahead. Inhale, pull belly under, create space in those shoulder blades. Look into that belly button, then exhale. Release all the way through. Last one here. Inhale, tuck under. Broaden through those shoulders. Open, open, open. Exhale. Release all the way back down. Look ahead. Beautiful. From here, we're going to take one leg out to the side, your right leg. I'm going to face you guys so you can see a little bit better with this pose. So my left knee is in line with my hip. My right leg is extended right out to my side, so my toes are in line with my knee. And then I'm pressing to the outside of my right foot, so my right pinky toe is on the ground. I'm going to start with my hands down. We're going to do a right rotation. So my left hand down, my right arm is going to lift off the ground. I'm going to open my whole torso and arm towards the ceiling. Inhale. I'm going to exhale, thread through. I'm going to do that now with my right toes lifting off of the ground. As I open my right side, my right toes are going to open. My hip's going to rotate open. Knee towards the ceiling. Inhale. As I exhale, my right foot's going to plant back down. Thread that right arm through. We have two more just like that. Inhale, pull the pinky toe, rotate the hip, open through the spine. Exhale, plant that foot, rotate under and through. Last one here. Inhale, rotate to open. Exhale to thread through. Beautiful. Plant that right arm down. You're going to take a big inhale, tuck under to your cat pose here. And then exhale, release. Belly to your cow. Now I'm coming back to a neutral spine. I'm going to walk my left knee beyond my left shoulder and hand. I'm going to walk my arms forward. I'm going to take a big inhale here and start to sink my hips straight back. So we'll start to get into the adductors. Try to keep this pinky toe on the ground for a little ankle range of motion. Then exhale, pull yourself back forward. You have 3 more of those. So it's an inhale, push out of those shoulders, hips back to heels, pinky toe on the ground, all the way back forward. Last 2. Last one here. Exhale, pull back to center. From here, I'm going to walk my left knee back in. I'm going to come up to a lifted position. So my full right foot is still on the ground. My left hand's going to come down. I'm going to press my hips forward, squeeze my glutes. Right arm opens up overhead. Big inhale to lengthen through my whole right side body. I might even rotate my shoulder and chest open, hips forward. And then come back to center. One more full breath. Maybe open again. Press those hips forward. Rotate towards the ceiling slightly. Exhale. We're going to roll all the way around to the other side. Hips forward. Right arm towards that right leg. Squeeze those glutes. Open up this left side body. Full 2 breaths here. From here, we're going to get into this left hip flexor a little bit. So I'm going to bend my right knee, pull my foot in. So I'm about 45 degrees diagonally. You might want to be more open. You might want to be more closed forward. You don't want to be directly in front. But wherever it's most comfortable for you, you'll feel it this first time or maybe not feel it. If you don't, adjust where that stability leg is. So we're going to come into a tuck position, posterior pelvic tilt. As I maintain this tuck, my glute's going to stay active. And as I'm pressing forward, I'm also going to come out to the side. You'll start to feel it through this left hip flexor, adductor area. Find that end and then pull back. So I want you to roll the shoulders down and back, squeeze that glute, press that hip forward. Then start this lengthen towards the side. Exhale, pull yourself back to center. These next 2, we can add an overhead reach. So grab a block. We might need that in the front to help with stabilizing through that right arm. So again, pelvic tuck, press hips forward, squeeze the glute. As we're pressing forward, coming out to the side, arm down, open to exhale. And then come back to center. Last one here. Big inhale. Exhale to find that length open. Good. Coming back to center. I'm going to rotate all the way towards the left side now. So I'm starting to move with my left leg extended, gate pose. My right knee is down on the ground and my left leg is extended, toes in line with my knee. When we're ready, plant those hands down. We're starting with our T-spine rotation. So we have 4 reps. The first one is just getting the movement of the spine. Taking a big inhale to open. And then exhale as you thread through. Left arm reaches down and beyond. These last 3, we can add the rotation of the foot, the knee, the hip to open. Exhale, plant that full foot down, pinky toe on the ground, rotate through. Last 2, inhale, open and rotate. Exhale, plant that foot and down through. Last 2. JK, that was 4. From here, we're going to take 1 cat and cow to center us off. So it's an inhale, tuck that belly under. Exhale, release through. Tilt that pelvis forward. Coming back to a neutral spine, keeping that full left foot down. My right knee is going to move beyond my shoulder and my hip. I'm going to walk my hands forward. From here, again, keep that left pinky toe down. Great ankle inversion mobility. You're going to take a big inhale. Start this rock back. Feel through those adductors and then exhale. Back up. So your first one, you might not get that far. It's perfectly fine and normal. That's to be expected. Exhale as you get towards that end range and come back center. Every rep, you'll get a little bit deeper. Last one here. Try to keep that pinky toe down. Really utilizing that breath as much as possible. We're walking those hands back in after that last rep. Knee back in. And then coming up to a seated, lifted position. So now I'm pressing my hips forward, squeezing my right glute, taking my right hand to the ground as I maintain that hip extension. Left arm overhead, big lengthen through that left side body. I think there's one line of energy from this pinky finger all the way down to the pinky toe. Maintain that hip extension, press those hips forward. And again, we can kind of open through that chest. Get a little movement in the spine maybe. I just added a little snap, crackle, pop of my thoracic because I'm maintaining my right glute activation and hip extension as I get a little movement into that T-spine. And then we'll rock and roll over to the other side, left arm down, press those hips forward, squeeze that glute, open through this right side body. One more full breath here. Keep pressing those hips forward. And exhale. When you're ready, we're going to find our neuromuscular stretch on this right side of my right hip. So wherever you were on this right side with that foot planted, bring your left foot there. Bending through this left knee, we're going to start with hip extension. So tuck that pelvis, posterior tilt, and then press those hips forward to squeeze those glutes, and then start that length towards that left foot. You'll feel a stretch through this right hip flexor, and then exhale, pull back. One more just like that. Hip extension towards that left side. And then on these last 2, if we want to add an overhead reach, we need a little bit more stability. For that left arm, we can add that block. Press forward, hip extension, left arm down, big overhead reach. Find that end range, exhale, and pull back to center. Last one, find that tuck. I just situated my left foot, so it's always okay to kind of move. When you're doing mobility, you'll definitely feel every rep is a little bit different and should be deeper, especially when you use that breath. So it's definitely okay to adjust where you are depending on how your joints and movements feel in your own body. So now we're going to do a little bit more for the hamstrings and the posterior chain. So this is a great stretch for isolating and targeting at your hamstrings. Take those blocks, one on each side of you. My knees in line with my hips. I'm taking an anterior pelvic tilt. So think almost like you're sticking your butt out in a way. That'll really feel the length through that extended leg's hamstrings. My right leg is extended. My leg is as straight as possible. I'm pulling my pinky toe towards me. Now, I maintain this anterior pelvic tilt as much as I can. I'm going to take a big inhale, pull this pinky toe, and then I might slouch my chest. Should feel that a little bit deeper. Even though I'm slouching into my chest, I'm not releasing this tilt of my pelvis. So it's a little bit tricky to get both. If you can't, I would rather you just focus on where your pelvis is. Take a big inhale again. Exhale, slight forward lean, slight slouch of that chest if you can. Now another thing to be mindful of is you're not opening up this left hip, so keep those hips squared off. You have one more full breath just like that. So now we're going to lengthen through the spine. Inhale. On our exhale, your right big toe is going to point towards the ground. Should feel a stretch to that anterior shin and ankle. And then inhale, pull back. Exhale, point forward. Inhale, pull back. You see how it's isolating just at my lower leg as much as possible. My hips really aren't moving on this forward point, plantar flexion, and then inhale, pull back, dorsey. So you have 4 of those. Inhale, pull back. Awesome. We'll take that right knee down to the ground and switch out for that left side. So my left leg is now extended, hips squared off, hips stacked over the knee. Pull the pinky toe, left leg straight, and then really try and find that anterior tilt like you're sticking your butt out. It's my best cue for that. When you're ready, we're going to take a big inhale. Maintain those hips squared off, so don't let that right hip open. Exhale, slight slouch of the chest. Inhale, pull that pinky toe. Lengthen the spine, anterior tilt. Exhale. One more full breath here. When you're ready, lengthen that spine. Inhale, pull the pinky toe. Exhale, we're starting the point with the big toe all the way through. Inhale, pull. Anterior tilt still. Exhale, point. You have 2 more. Inhale, pull. Exhale, point. Last one here. Inhale, pull. Keep those hips squared off. Keep that pelvis tilting forward. Point that toe. Then you pull back. Take it all the way back with both knees down. We can remove those blocks. We're going to take 3 more cat and cow, so full palm on the ground. Taking that tuck under. Big inhale here. Look up at that belly button. And then exhale, release all the way through. Inhale, pull under. Exhale, release all the way through. Last one here, guys. Inhale, find that tuck under. Create space in those shoulder blades. Press the ground away. Exhale, release all the way through. From here, we're going to sit those hips back for our child's pose. Reach those arms forward. Take a few deep inhales and exhales here. You can close the eyes. You can set an intention. You can speak out loud how your body's feeling. Make it positive. A lot of times, pain is really in our brain. So if we can remind ourselves that we are strong and resilient, we are safe and supported in the positions we're in, and we are feeling great at all times, it's going to help to train the body, the muscles, and the nervous system to feel safe and supported exactly where we are. So with those arms extended, we're going to come forward. If you're like me, you might need to move your blocks. And we're going to come down into our prone position onto our bellies. We're going to do a spinal twist here before we finish the flow. So both of my arms are right by my sides here. I'm going to extend my left arm straight out to the side. My right knee is going to bend. I'm going to flex my foot. From here, glutes, activate, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That will lift the thigh off of the ground. And now I'm going to rotate so my heel is leading away from my body. Exhale, almost like you're opening that knee. And then pull back to center. 2 more of those. So it's inhale, lift the thigh, squeeze the glute, rotate. And then if you want, you can reach that right arm away from you. You'll feel a little stretch into that lat, into that shoulder. Complex. It actually feels really good. We'll pull back to center. And last one here, squeeze the glute. Lift the thigh off, find that rotation, almost like you're arcing, leading with that heel. When you're ready, you can extend that arm. And then we'll pull back to center. Left hand will come in. Mini halfway lift, squeeze the glutes, find your center, and then extend that right arm. We're bending this left knee, squeeze the glute, lift the thigh, and then arc to rotate. Lead with that heel as much as you can, and then pull back to center. So you have 2 more just like that. Inhale, squeeze, find that rotation, and if you want to add this extension of that left arm, a little reach, to get that stretch to the lat, go for it. Pull back to center. Last one here. Squeeze that glute, lift the thigh, find that rotation, and then again, option to extend through that left arm. We'll pull back to center. Take both hands down. Take those hips back to your heels for your child's pose. Another full deep breath here. We'll tuck the toes under, press the hips back, walk it out right to left. Still maintain that breath. So a lot of recovery is also breathing and sleep and hydration. So as much as it's great to stretch our bodies, and I'm really happy you just did that with me, make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that you're breathing so that your nervous system feels safe and supported as well, and that you're hydrating so that your cells can do all of the amazing, cool things that they do for you guys. Yeah, have a great rest of your day/night whenever you watch this. Thanks for joining Athletic Mobility.